I've been silent for a while. Arcane, very soon,
So I
in
can't ask you a question. Oh, okay.
about a year from now,
Hmm.
there's going to be there's a couple of civilian space programs for tourists.
Mm,
Go very high up to the edge of space. Okay,
right.
I'm going to ask you a question. A year from now, when these tourists start going up, right,
Uh,
and they come back with photographs or testimonies
hmm.
that they saw the curvature of the moon,
Hmm.
okay, what will you conclude from those testimonies of these civilians?
The
That's a pretty good question.
same thing I concluded when Buzz Aldrin came back and looked all weird when he gave his
Okay,
press conference.
so these civilians,
Hmm.
some of
Have you
whom
looked
are
into the
probably
mission?
rich celebrities. So you're going to conclude that
Oh,
they,
wow.
if and when they testify that they've seen the curvature of the Earth,
Hmm.
is it going to be your conclusion that they're a part of the grand conspiracy as well?
Oh, I guess I should just believe him, right?
No, I asked you a
Uh,
question. Is that what
to
your
be
conclusion would
fair,
be?
DD, they are a very select group, are they not?
Hmm.
That's besides the point. It's a moot point.
I don't think it is because if he's going to argue that
No,
NASA
this is going to
astronauts,
be this is going to be a cross section of people. The one common denominator that they will all share is that they have the deep pockets where they can buy tickets to go into uh, the very edge of space at
Has
the
anyone
top
ever
of it.
done that before,
Now, I'm
DD?
going to, okay, now, yes, they have.
Oh,
Um,
really? They have.
yeah,
When
they
did they
have.
do that?
Okay.
Never.
In any of the
They've never even
space
sent a dog where
programs
they're trying to send these
of the
humans.
United States, of Russia. Um,
Nope.
now, when these civilians come back, many of them who will be very wealthy people, celebrities, things like that, and they testify consistently,
Hmm.
are you going to conclude that they're part of a massive uh, uh, conspiracy to deceive people?
I want to see their proof. I'm going to prove all things.
I'm asking you a question. What will you conclude?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a skeptic and I'm going to do like the Bible says and search for
Right.
truth and
And
prove all things.
right, and we suppose they show you their photographs from their cell phones.
I want to see proof. If they got photographs, I want to see them.
Okay, let's assume that that's going to take place a year from now. If
Hmm.
and when that takes place, what do you think your conclusion will be?
If they prove it,
How would you prove it?
well, that's a very good question. I have very simple answers if you want to hear them, how they could prove it very easily right here on Earth, by the way. They don't need to go in the far reaches of the universe. And by the way, this mission that you're claiming that they're going to send two civilians to, they've never sent two astronauts to, let alone a freaking satellite orbiter to where they're
No, so
going.
now
They've
we're going
never.
back to the moon mission thing.
Hold on. I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm
That's just
just.
circular reasoning on your
No,
part.
you're not even trying to hear my point. You're just
No, I'm
looking for
hearing
a
you. I'm
reason
just
to not be
commenting
a
on your
flat
point.
earther. It seems
I
like,
did
but it's
hear
okay.
you.
What's
I'm
your
making
point?
a comment. I'm just not really in the mood to listen to your monologuing. But I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
making
then
a
don't ask me
comment.
questions. All
I'm
right.
making a comment on your monologuing.
All right. Well, then don't ask me questions.
Why shouldn't I ask you questions?
If you don't like the way I answer them, then you should probably just not stay out of this conversation.
Why should I? If
I
I don't,
answered you the way I wanted to answer
if
you.
I
Then I asked you a
don't, if
question.
I don't agree with your conclusions, why is it incumbent upon me to stay out of the comment?
I asked you a question, and then you said you cut me off and said you don't want to hear my monologue. So I'm just confused at what you're
Well,
listening to right now.
you have a habit of monologuing.
I don't talk long at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you do.
You monologue. You got some nerve, bro. I love you. I love you. You know I love me some Dawkins, bro. But come on, seriously, stop it. I answered your
Okay,
question,
I
and
have a
then I asked
question.
you a very rational question: Is how are they going to send two civilians where they've never been?
Can
You said
you
that they
can
did
you
this, but they
explain
never
to
did it.
me? Can you explain to me why it is that when we have two people in the same location, or one is in a very higher elevation, that they can actually see farther than the person who is in a lower elevation?
It's called perspective, have you seen any videos on this? How it pertains to the vanishing points on the oceans where ships supposedly sail over the curve?
Now, perspective would not alter the person at a higher elevation to see farther.
That's kind of how perspective works.
If the Earth is flat, if they're both in the same location, but one is at a higher elevation, okay? If one is at a much higher elevation, if the Earth is curved as in a sphere, that completely accounts for why the person at the higher elevation, due to the curvature of the Earth, that they can see farther. Okay. Now,
same thing happens on a flat plane every day.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
Yes, it does.
No. Okay. You see, people. This is why it is a complete waste of time.
Oh, because I don't agree with your claim that you've never looked into.
I appreciate if you wouldn't overtalk me.
Why you monologue about me? Sure. But I'm
not monologuing. I'd appreciate if you wouldn't talk over me.
Hey, Arcane, I have a question for you.
Okay. Well, I wasn't done yet. Okay. This is why it's a complete waste of time talking with Arcane on this issue, because he's flat out wrong. The fact of the matter
doing
is,
just fine until you showed up.
You're talking over me, Arcane. Okay, perspective, i.e., what we commonly understand that perspective used in drawing, does not account in any way for the fact that a person at a higher elevation can see a farther distance away, okay, at all. But a curved Earth completely comports with why they can see a farther distance. Okay?
Not at all. Well, that's
not a rebuttal.
Well, if you want to let me finish talking, can you please mute? Since you said I'm wrong. Whoops, I typed that in the wrong. Do you know what the horizon is? It's the point where when you're looking out, let's say if I'm on a beach and you're on a beach, up towards the horizon, right? We're both looking at the limit of our perception, the farthest our eyes can see. So if you look at horizon on Wiki right here, very simple, it'll show you what I'm talking about. The horizon or skyline is the apparent line that separates Earth from sky, the line that divides all visible directions into two categories, those that intersect the Earth's surface and those that do not. So if we're looking at this horizon here, right? If we were to go higher on a flat plane, I'd be able to take in more of what's behind the horizon, because the horizon is the limit of our perception. Sometimes we can see farther on a clear day because there's not so much atmospheric interference, because there's a lot of density towards the bottom of towards the water, towards the surface. The higher you go, the farther you can see on a flat plane. So when I look at balloon footage, let's go back to YouTube and look at balloon footage from 100,000 feet up, temperature along the horizon line, if we're on a ball, and we don't see that. So from the eye's perspective, the Earth is flat as the eye can see.
Can you
me that we're on a ball, so I'm confused.
Can you explain to me why, when it is daytime in the Western Hemisphere, that if you actually make phone calls to people in the Eastern Hemisphere, that it's nighttime?
The sun isn't. So you don't want to talk about perspective anymore? You want to talk about sunsets now?
Can you explain to me why people, when you call them in different locations, that it's completely dark?
Sure, I can explain that to you, but I just want to make sure everyone else on the panel is okay with that, since the initial question was about the.
If I call somebody in China, and I'm in Texas, and it's daytime here, okay, and I'm speaking to them on the phone, and they tell me it's nighttime, and the Earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you explain to me why it's nighttime in China and not here in Texas?
Because as soon as I get on the other side of the Earth.
Well, it's away from your area. It's not in your centralized location anymore. Its light isn't emitting where you are. Just like if I took a flashlight and moved it along a big gymnasium, perhaps you wouldn't see it as brightly on the other side, or you might not shine on the other side.
It's completely dark except for the illumination of the moon. Can you explain to me why it's nighttime there?
Well, I would say to you that you should do some research on this topic, because
I asked you a question.
yeah, you asked me an initial question about how I can see farther on a flat Earth if I elevate, right? So I'm trying to give you that answer, but now you want to skip over to something else. So
To be fair, these are the weaker arguments.
Why would China? Why would people in China?
Very weak.
Why would the people in China tell me that it's nighttime there? If the Earth is
because
flat,
the sun isn't over there.
okay,
let's go there then.
If the Earth is flat and the state of Texas and China are on the same plane, why is it nighttime in China when it's daytime here in Texas?
I would say do some research, but I will let this play for you, and maybe this will help you out.
Well,
see, the sun is in. Let me know if you want an answer.
I'm still waiting for an answer.
All right, I'll wait.
Ask the question. Okay, I don't need filibustering. I asked a simple question.
I don't need you talking over me when I'm trying to give an answer either.
Okay,
but
you
really insist on doing that, so I'm not interested.
I'm waiting for an answer.
For you to let a conversation happen, but you don't want to do that. So
why is it completely
move on from the previous?
Why is it completely dark in China, with the exception of the illumination of the moon? Right? Why is it completely dark?
Showing you on his screen.
That doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't want to know. He's just asking.
That doesn't demonstrate anything to me.
He's gonna scoff before he even looks into it. So, does anyone else want to add or ask anything? Because he's clearly trying to control the conversation.
I have a question.
I do have a and then you go first.
All right, thanks.
See, I'm not getting any answer to my question.
Arcane, if you had a genuine opportunity to go into space and get a glimpse of the Earth, would you go?
It depends. I saw what happened to the Challenger supposedly, so I don't know who I would trust to send me into space. But let's say, for the sake of, can I finish?
Yeah, this is Antonio. This is why you should engage people like this, because it's totally insane.
Thanks, brother. Right, thanks, brother. Appreciate that, DD. Wow,
I've had enough of this insanity. I've had enough of this insanity.
Yeah, see you later, brother.